This video is brought to you by the Kawaii crew on my Patreon.
Hey everyone, it's your kawaii boy Monty. Thank you for coming to be cute with me today. And you've been probably wondering why I've been gone, and the answer is that I have been searching. I have been looking. I have been thinking for the biggest question, the most anticipated question of all for this year with regards to the fashion. What is going to be the big trend for 2023? Well, my friends, I found the answer. The big trend of 2023 for the Lolita fashion community will be embracing casualness.
Alright, yeah, I know. So casual is a weird word to associate with Lolita, and this idea might fall a little out of left field because you'd be expecting something a bit more specific, like a certain item or a theme. But, as Shakespeare once said, let the clown honk a little bit before you science it, because, it's kind of funny. So, hear me out with these 3 points as to why I think the embracing of casualness will be a trend in 2023. Number 1, 2020 happened. Mass international quarantine rekindled a wave of new Lolitas as many people were told to stay home and cozy up with their stimulus checks. Staying home for a long time makes you do a lot of introspection, turns out. Mine was thinking, wow, men are kinda neat sometimes. I kinda wish I was a man so I could be a cute guy. Oh, if only that were possible. Wonder why I'm thinking about that. But for a lot of other people, their introspection told them to buy the damn dress already. The sheer brush fire of dress buying was rampant during this time, and there were more people price gouging 2010s era AP more than ever before. 2020 was a tough time and people wanted to indulge or maybe go to a nostalgic place. And obviously, since we needed to keep everyone safe, you weren't allowed to go outside and go hang out with your Lolita friends in a fun meet. All of this explosive desire for frells kept going and poured into a need to see everyone at meets and at Lolita conventions. And what can happen at meets and at Lolita conventions? Swap meets and vendor halls. And for a lot of people, this was their first opportunity to be buying Lolita pieces in person. So how could they resist? How could they say no? How could you not grab something? While the thing that caused 2020 is still here, the brush fire of excitable and rapid buying seems to have generally cooled down a bit, or at the very least enough time has passed that the people who got into Lolita in 2020 have now gotten more aware of their style identity and thus have gained wisdom on what and what not to buy. And more importantly, people are now looking at those extravagant pieces they bought in that time and are thinking, oh my god, how the hell am I actually going to wear those pieces more often? Number 2, the rediscovery of old school Lolita. So, old school Lolita, or rather more accurately, early to mid 2000s era Lolita, has come back in recent years as a returning trendy look in its own right. Indie brands from all over the world have made their own take on that specific old school look, with dresses featuring lots of beautiful lace, rectangle headdresses, rocking horseshoes, and, well, obviously it's all the more iconic if it's a black and white color scheme. But the truth is, this is only one kind of old school Lolita look during the time when there was still lots of experimentation being done, and more Lolitas are rediscovering that truth. The resurgence of this era of Lolita has not only made the aesthetics trendy, but now that we've been spending a couple of years with it, we've had some time to think on this era from a philosophical standpoint, and how it applies to how we wear Lolita. Things like, should I really beat myself up so hard because these pink shoes don't perfectly match the other pink of my other pieces? Should I miss out on wearing this dress that I've been meaning to wear for a while just because my perfectly matching accessories are still in the mail? Is it really taboo for me to incorporate clothes from my other closet with Lolita and vice versa? Am I worrying too much about whether or not my cord fits into a specific substyle? And perhaps the most pressing question, am I expecting myself to make a great cord every single time I try? With a warm welcome to the return of the old school aesthetic, and with growing understanding of sentiments behind it, that leaves more room for the community to love their Lolita by letting it shine in a more casual way. That was lots of philosophy. Now let's move on to something a lot more practical and straightforward in point number 3, which is current events. So, a lot has been happening in the world these past couple years, but of note, at the time of recording, the world's economy hasn't really been looking that hot, to be honest. In fact, according to tons of business sources that I've never seen in my entire life, the entire world is just on the cusp of a global recession. For Lolita fashion, this likely means twofold. First off, for Lolitas themselves, this is generally going to mean an increased cost of living, thus having less money to spend on frivolous dresses. we're gonna have to not only be buying wiser, but also potentially buy less. And for the things we do buy, we need to make them count. Combining back with point number 1 about how there was a big rush of spending since 2020, I predict that Lolitas will have to be smarter about what pieces they purchase, and they are going to be thinking about wardrobe synergy more than ever before. But it won't just be consumers that'll be affected by this. No, we can't forget that with the price of everything going up, this also means materials, which will also mean brands. Small indie brands and larger Lolita businesses are going to have to consider what items for the year will equal guaranteed profit. Thus, they're likely to want to rely on releases that are tried and true, such as popular re-releases and reliable staples. Do note that when I say embracing casualness, I'm not saying a drop in OTT. OTT will be around for as long as Lolita is, though I do predict, or at least personally hope, that we are going to see more Lolitas trying to make use of their OTT items and wear them casually to the grocery store. Do I have any more points? No, that's it. I'm basically talking out of my ass, to be honest. Oh, by the way, thank you for 300 subscribers. Tell me what I should do for my 300 subscriber video. I'll take ideas. Anyways, as per usual, I'd like to give a thank to my special top tier patrons, Amelia Peterson, Labelle Ramli, Linkyu, Mary Magdell, and Mr. Steve. This has been Monty, your kawaii boy, and remember that every day is a great day to uplift yourself and others. Bye!